The crypto market is definitely moving. The capos are getting wrecked. The numbers are green. No new people are coming into crypto though. Elliotrades says he has some profit to take into Solana. The founder of Seedify and more people have some interesting news for us. So if you already like that, please like the video. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the Fomo Factory, by the way. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. That makes it easier for me to stalk you every single day. Otherwise, you have a way around it, and that's not fun for me as well. Yeah, and let's get right into it, man. So, like I said, the market is really having the people that are still in crypto like super interested, right? These people are all into the market and it's all so super bullish. And that makes me wonder like, oh, are we in a bull market or are we in a type of market where everybody is excited again and then it maybe messes a little bit with us? So let's take a look at that. Now, the first thing I've showed you is of course these green numbers, right? Ethereum is doing very well. There's an application for an Ethereum ETF and people are definitely buying into that. Solana is still ripping. Even Cardano, man, it makes me show I want to puke. No, but Cardano is doing very well. Chainlink is ripping. Polygon is moving. Like every altcoin is basically doing very well. But there's always a but on this channel, man. Sorry, I'm not showing my ass, but there's always a but. What do I mean by the but? Well, like I said, there are no new people coming into crypto still. This is the social metrics, and that's the red line. The red line represents a collective number of YouTube subscribers, YouTube views, people that follow people on Twitter, like analysts, but also layer ones and exchanges, and all of that combined shows how the interest in crypto is performing. As you can see, it's quite funny that after we had this Bitcoin top right here, after that, the social risk was at the high. That's quite funny. We saw it here as well. We had the Bitcoin top over here, and after that, it was the high. What does that tell you? It tells you that retail is always late to the party, right? You don't want to be late to the party. Probably once your neighbors and everybody is talking about Bitcoin, you probably want to consider taking some profits. Now, I notice in my surroundings that people are talking a little bit about it again, but not really too much. As you can see, we just came from the lows right here when nobody gave a fuck about crypto until the point where still a lot of people don't give a fuck about crypto, back to where basically almost nobody gives a fuck about crypto. That's kind of how we're moving right now. And this chart is actually pretty interesting if you ask me, as this is, you know, if this was a coin, I would not buy into it, right? Making lower lows, lower highs, and it's not in an accumulation phase just yet. Also not in a distribution phase, but we need to see something like this. Now, overall, yes, it's better to get into crypto when things are low than when things are high. So if you are not that picky on your timing, hey, it is at least an interesting time to be interested. But the funny thing is about this, that if you take the YouTube views away, so the current people that are already in the crypto space and still watch YouTube, you see the chart going down already. Same goes for everything on Twitter. So if you, for example, take a look at the YouTube subscribers, yeah, it's showing its ad right now a little bit, but this is really low. And it tells me that still not a lot of new people are coming into crypto, but the market is moving quite well. I mean, if we take a look at Bitcoin right here, Bitcoin, it is struggling with this trend line, but Bitcoin, you can say whatever you want, it went up from 15K to 30 freaking 8 it was sitting. So Bitcoin had a fantastic move. Now, the hot topic is of course altcoins. Like I discussed before, what is interesting to me is that altcoins are now making a 2x. If you look at the others chart, that's the best chart that reflects altcoins. If we take it from the bottom until where we are right now, that's 122% move, which is definitely good. However, if we take it from Bitcoin's low to the 122% move, well, let's say 100 to make my point a little more clear. Bitcoin already did that 2x in the first 4 months of this year. And nobody was really talking much about that. But now that altcoins are doing it, everybody talks about it. And that's probably because people have a lot of exposure in altcoins and they now, of course, get very euphoric. But that's what Bitcoin is doing. Altcoins are moving nicely as well, but it's not really new money flowing into the space. So why are altcoins going up right now? Very simple. I talk about this a lot, so I don't want to make this too long. You can see right here the Bitcoin dominance is in a big upwards trend. Of course, on the shorter term, we have a good correction right here, which is super understandable. Bitcoin had an amazing run, and people started to deploy some Bitcoin into altcoins, and I think that's a very wise move because altcoins were getting crushed against Bitcoin. As you can see, for the whole year, they were not performing well. And now they are finally playing some catch up while Bitcoin is staying at the same level or even is going up. Now, if you see this on a bigger scale, where the dominance goes down while Bitcoin goes up, that's an alt season. That's an alt season. So are we in an alt season? Technically, yes, but a very little one. A very little one. Look, this was an alt season like crazy, right? And now we have this. So it's actually good news because if you already like your portfolio right now, man, wait until you get into a bull market, real full-blown alt season. It's gonna blow your head off. It's incredible. But that's not the only reason that altcoins are going up. The other reason also that altcoins are going up is by, if you look at the USDT chart, this shows the dominance from USDT. So how much money people have sitting into USDT. And you see that this has broken down. So people start to deploy their USDT into crypto. So it's not really new people. It's just people shifting money from Bitcoin into altcoins. And now people feel like, oh, now everything is going up. So let me just take my stables and put it into the market. I must say that if I purely from a technical perspective look at this chart, we came up at this level at around June 2022. That was where altcoins and Bitcoin and everything got really wrecked, where people were taking profits into USDT. And we went to this point, that 6.5% give or take, many times. We did it over here in September. We did it in January. Well, basically everywhere. And we are now there as well. I do feel like, okay, is this going to function as a little support right here, which means that people will now stop deploying USDT into the crypto market. The market is a little overheated and they wait for it, maybe take some profits right now, and we can see this thing going up, maybe against this trend line, and it doesn't look like much, but you have to understand this move right here, the last 4 weeks, was like 21%, right? It's not a lot. It could go up with 16%. It's not a lot as well, but this was almost a 2x for altcoins, right? So if it goes up, hey, altcoins and Bitcoin can go down quite hard as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Also, if I just take a look at the altcoin market, we are facing some big resistance right here. And I know everybody is euphoric. I know it's not a popular thing to say. I know a lot of people are not happy with this channel lately because I've been very cautious with the crypto market. And it paid out like big time in the whole bear market. We saved a lot of money. And every time we get a pump, people always like, oh, you were so wrong. And I'll be like, yeah, well, we always have these pumps, right? If you look at the total 3 right here, we had this pump many times before the last year, even here, and now here. So, and they all resulted lower. So it's not bad to be a little cautious in this market and to not expect it to right away break it this time. So that's kind of my view on that right now. So that's interesting about this chart, that although the market is doing well, it is kind of with the people that are already in the market. And as you can see right here, when we had a real bull market, it was mainly because the social metrics, so new people came into crypto as well. Now they are leaving crypto, so that's a huge difference, right? We will see a real bull market, of course, but I think we need a lot of like neighbors and grandmas, grandpas, and all of that to step into it as well. So I thought this tweet from Elliotrades was quite interesting. My simple strategy this cycle is to sell things into Solana. Last cycle, I did this with Ethereum. That's an interesting tweet, if you ask me. Now, if we take a look at the total three, so that's the altcoin market divided by Ethereum. Let's take a look at that chart, right? So this tells how much altcoins are worth against Ethereum, so on their Ethereum pair. And it depends a little bit on when you did that, because at the beginning of 2021, altcoins were going up hard against Ethereum. And if you did that over here, you would have taken a lot of profits. Now Elio is basically saying that, like, hey, let's do this in Solana. I don't see him talk about what the reason is for that, but I can imagine what the reason is for that. And that's because Solana is like, it now has the hype. And a lot of people are bullish on Solana, and it's funny, right? Because I've seen so many people here say, hey, Solana is dead. And I remember myself saying back then, like, yeah, but you know, the FTX crash, it was horrible. And with all these Solana funds, of course it crashed, but did it make Solana a worse product? Like, it was still the same good, fast, cheap, layer one right here as it was over here. Maybe even better. So I was never bearish on Solana, to be honest. And it kind of shows people right now, like, hey, Solana, like most people, they get convinced, I think, once the price starts to do well. And Elio, as far as I see, he always believed in Solana as well, as it is just a very good chain. And especially for someone who believes in crypto gaming, Solana is a really interesting chain, because how many like games are actually built and successful on the BNB chain or on Ethereum even, right? It's way too expensive. Or on any other layer one like Near or whatever. Like I don't see them like doing that. Yeah, Solana does that. Solana has a lot of good games built on it, and because it is so fast and it's so cheap, it makes it works. And Solana could definitely be such a blue chip coin that people will talk about, like, okay, you have Bitcoin and then you have the altcoins, and from the altcoins, of course, Ethereum is the blue chip, and everybody was always talking about, hey, the Ethereum killer and this and that. Everything tried, but nothing came really close to that. Well, Solana is at least a good third place. If it, like, maybe if there will be an Ethereum killer, it will be Solana, in my opinion. But it has a long way to go. It has a very long way to go. If you look, for example, at the Solana dominance, it's 1.5%, right? So, and it came from far, right? It's 3x right there. And in the last cycle, it was 3%. So it's already halfway there when it comes to dominating the crypto space. This says nothing about the price, though. But, well, not necessarily. So, but yeah, Solana, in my opinion, it is something to really keep your eyes out on. I must say that it is now sitting at some big resistance. And hey, resistance at the end of the day is there to be broken. But it seems a little overheated. It went up too fast, too hard, in a too short of period. And I can tell you, with the next best pullback, I'm going into Solana as well. I had a very good entry on an average of $18. I sold it at lower 30, somewhere in the 20 as well, by the way, and around 40. Made some good profits on it. But yeah, I don't know. I think we can get it cheaper. Never be afraid to take some profits, right? Nobody went broke by doing that. And in a full-blown altcoin bull market, you should not do it too fast. But that's not really what it is, in my opinion, yet. So, but I like this tweet. It's a controversial tweet, I think, and I haven't seen the reactions here, but I think he gets a lot of shit for it, probably. But yeah, okay, a lot of people agree with him, by the way. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, nice. Then though, Seedify. So this is Meta Alchemist Levant, if I pronounce it right. I don't know if you even watch my videos. I will be honored if you do. By the way, let me know if you do. Would be really cool. But oh man, every time I read his tweets, I want to go all in on Seedify. It's like he has something, man. He has something. Also, when he jumps into the Seedify Telegram and he says something, it makes me feel like, fuck, I want to buy more right now. He's such a good leader and he's such a great founder and he has such a great project. So you have me here to talk a lot about Seedify, right? Seedify is a crypto launchpad. It is the leading crypto launchpad, specifically focused on gaming. Lately, they just go with the flow. The price chart, well, you know, everything is like going up right now, but the fact that Seedify went up 183%, so it kind of 3x'd, that's more than average, and that's not for no reason. I'm gonna make a separate video about that, but in the next bull run, I think I'm gonna place myself 80% into launchpads. And Seedify is definitely on top of my list together with a couple of other great launchpads out there. But Seedify is so innovative and I love what they do. And yeah, you know about launchpads, If you have any questions about how something works in specific, leave a comment down below, by the way, and I can always go over that. I want this community to know exactly what I'm doing right here in the Netherlands behind my desktop with my camera off, right? But Seedify, I love it. And he says, if you are hyped about Web3 gaming, here's what Seedify, the #1 Web3 gaming incubator and launchpad, has in store without spilling all the beans at once. He's always like has something that we don't know about. A bunch of quality games that's been building in the bear to launch their token via our launchpad. I have seen the interview between the founder of, at least, was it the founder, I think, of IMX and Elliotrades. Go check it out. Really bullish interview right there. And he also says that so many projects are set to release in 2024. And these people are not stupid, right? A lot of games haven't worked out for the last 2 years. Why? Because they released in the last 2 years. It was a bear market. You have to get your timing together, right? And people are just simply not gonna, put money into something new when the market is already down, because people don't have any money and the expectation to make money with it is also not really there. So why would they, right? Well, that's going to change in the bull market, of course, and Seedify is going to pull off insane numbers in my expectation again. Web3 gaming legends like Yellow Banter. Well, I don't know these guys, by the way, but I should do my research on that if I like this page so much. They are working on the strategies of each and every game as Seedify Gaming incubation team. So I'm gonna follow these people right away. I already follow him, already not following her, and I want to follow you as well. Seedify incubation, I will talk about that as well. It's really interesting what Seedify does with that, by the way. It's really more of a partnership and closer contact than just releasing them and let them go into the open world like birds do. Like, oh, okay, fly. Oh, too bad, next. Like, that's not what you want. Stay in contact. A team close to 100 people, which is notorious for bringing the highest ROI Web3 gaming launches, 44 average ROI in 2021 to be specific, and still the #1 ROI launchpad in 2023. They're not lying about that. You can verify this for yourself. There's a website I use all the time for this stuff. This is CryptoRank. And if you look right here, IDO platforms year to date, Seedify with 19 launches, 129% ROI. 2023, as we know, wasn't the best time for altcoins, and they still pulled this off. So I can only applaud for Seedify, Engine Starter, Pools Finance. These guys know what they do. I love it. A partnership network between biggest exchanges, content creators, tooling, infrastructures, communities, and more. Like, it is a lot what they are building, really. And last but not least, a new venture arms of events that will fill your timeline in the next couple of weeks and months to provide the max value in Web3 gaming. So get your S-Fan tiers ready, because Web3 gaming is coming back and Seedify is coming back with it. For freaking sure. So, if I read this, like, you know why I'm bullish on gaming, right? And if you don't know, then watch some video of mine. I'll basically talk about it in everyone. Johnny from Crypto Banter, Hustlepedia. I have been very vocal about Crypto Banter that I did not like what they did in the bear market. It was mainly because of Ren and Sheldon, though, because they have a very big community, and I already feel like shit, man. 24K subs, man, the responsibility. So of course, hats off for handling that. Not gonna lie about that, but I saw them tweet or to talk a lot about, oh, alt season this, alt season that, and then it came down, and I felt like, man, I know you cannot predict everything, but you have a big community, and if it's so easy for you to call alt season here, alt season there, it could be a little tricky. However, Hustlepedia, I love what he does. He has good calls. He is building a beautiful platform. I love what he does with Nexus. I'm in the community there as well. I have a lot of respect for the guy for being very consistent and very standing behind what he does. He's working his ass off, so a lot of love for this guy. He says the easiest low-hanging fruit in crypto was buying low market cap gaming tokens when everybody was calling you stupid, or us stupid. When people call you stupid, buy more. When people are overly bullish, take profit. Literally, crypto is a sentiment game, and that's what it is. Like, charting is really helpful, and it can really tell you a lot. Following the news is really helpful and helps a lot as well. But if you just open up Twitter and YouTube a couple of times a day, just look what the sentiment is, you can kind of like have your personal fear and greed meter right there, right? And that brings me to my own tweet, which I want to talk about in a second. But first, Didi, a guy from the Netherlands, he is a legend, not just in the Netherlands, but worldwide, basically. But this guy did what I would never do. He sold his house and his kids' toys and everything to buy Bitcoin in, I should do my research on this, but I think it was 2014, 15. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he went full into Bitcoin, and he was just traveling the world and doing what he liked. And his conviction, bruh. If you don't have kids, I feel like, yeah, that's like, go for it. But if you have kids, I feel like, oh, bro, what if this didn't work out? How you gonna do this, man? Maybe he had a back door somewhere, but like, I wouldn't have the balls to do what he did, though. But I have so much respect for this guy, though. But he said 1 year ago in November Bitcoin was bottoming at 16K. Today we are up 135%, and the next halving and a spot ETF approval still need to take place. And that's something that says something about the long-term mindset you should have. As you may know, long-term, I'm freaking bullish on crypto. And it's exactly what he said, right? 16K was a beautiful level to buy. It was a beautiful level to buy. And yeah, if you look where we are right now, 36K. Okay, so let's take a look at the last cycle, right? Last cycle we bottomed at 3100. Once we did 130% right there, we were sitting at 7K, give or take. Of course, back then I would have said like, hey, you know, be a little careful buying such a pump. But then again, if you take it over the long term, look what happens. We know how Bitcoin moves. We know how bullish Bitcoin is in the long term. Now we get the interest from the institutions, buy these ETF applications. Every major company is in some kind of way at least interested, if not involved into crypto, mainly Bitcoin. And I know a lot of people always say like, yeah, Bitcoin is the boring coin and it won't give you 100x and this and that. And you should look at altcoins. Then again, it depends on the timing, because in the bear market, you know, Bitcoin, it came down like 77%. Right? Some altcoins came down so much that if Bitcoin did that, it was sitting at $400, right? So altcoins in the bull market, if you have the right one at the right time, you could do very well, of course. But in the bear market, they can completely wreck you. I'm not advising you to be fully into Bitcoin during the whole bear market, but it's at least a lot safer than altcoins. And hey, so far, Bitcoin always gives nice and steady returns, right? But if you want to find 100x, yeah, you can go either to the shitcoin casino or have a good strategy. Doing 100x is not really specifically about being in the right coins, but also being at the right coins at the right time, know how to shuffle and restructure your portfolio by knowing how the cycle works a little bit, and then 100x is actually not that hard. But overall, that's totally not what this tweet was about. But yeah, Bitcoin, we have the halving. It's not exactly, but around April 2024. And we know what happens after the halvings, right? These blue lines are the halvings. We had the halving, little cool off, and we have the bull run. Little halving, cool off, have the halving, little cool off, and we have the bull run. Yeah, could that happen right now? Halving, little cool off, and then the bull run. Hey, we will see. But overall, long term, super bullish. Now, what I tweeted is this. I try to be a little more active on Twitter lately as well. So there's a link down below. Go follow me there. It's up there, floating around as well. At this specific moment, I said, I'm not going to lie. The market seems a bit overheated at this point. People are buying into the Ethereum ETF application, but remember, it has not been approved. You know, and that's the same thing with Bitcoin. We have the ETF application and it was letting us down and it got delayed and not rejected, but they always find reasons why not, right? And with Ethereum, we now have I thought we already had one application, but at least we now have an application. And that makes people buy into it. Ethereum is at the moment of recording doing very well. It touched $2,100 or even more. 2134 on Bitfinex. And Ethereum is doing really, really, really good at the moment. But this is a typical, if you ask me, buy the rumor, sell the news type of pump. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it breaks out. I try to be completely unbiased, right? Like if I say this, I'm going to piss someone off. And if I say that, I'm going to piss someone off. Hey, these are my views on it. But Ethereum seems a little overheated. There is no application that's being, it's not approved or anything yet, right? So I'm saying I'm taking some profits today. Everybody that has been into a real bull market knows that this is not the big bull yet. Altcoins are 2-3xing, which is nice, but this is nothing like alt season. To follow up on that, like I said, if you look at the others chart, so basically the top 125 except the top 10, so that gives a very good view on the altcoin market. It did a 120% gain, give or take. So less than Bitcoin still, but a very nice move from the bottom. But that's not an alt season, right? If we look at the last bull market, hey, you don't want to know how much this actually is. If you take it from this bottom right here, then this is a 7,100% move, right? So that's 70 times as much. That's incredible, right? And again, it's not an alt season. Like I showed at the beginning of the video, an alt season is where the dominance goes down hard. Even if we will go down completely again from here, hey, it's an alt season and it's a good alt season. But it's the smallest we would have ever, right? This was way bigger. This was way bigger. So it's like I feel we need a Bitcoin ETF, shoot the dominance up in its last move, then convert that Bitcoin into altcoins, and then let the altcoin season begin. But there is nothing wrong with taking profits right now. I've made, I'm not going to pull up the number, but yesterday I said to my wife, like, look, I made 2 year salaries today, like crazy. Like, but you don't know what a year salary is in the Netherlands, so it doesn't matter. But no, I made a lot of money, but I also want to cover myself a little bit, right? Because like I said, we had these moves on the total 3 altcoin market. We had these moves before, right? We now had a move, well, let's take it from, yeah, let's take this move, right? We had a move of 26%, right? This includes stables. Your actual altcoins went up more. But here it included stables as well. And here we had a move of 29%. Here we had a move of 42%, right? Here we had a move of 42%. Right, so this is not even such a big move if you compare it to what happened in the rest of this bear market. And still we came down. And although we might not come down this time, like, but you know, we could. And I don't want to see it go down right now and be like, oh man, this run was again for nothing, right? That sucks. It really sucks. I've did that with this run right here. Mostly did not take profits on the small positions that I did had. And I felt like, man, why not? I could have had so much more, like, but I was too greedy, I think. I felt like, man, maybe it goes up, maybe it breaks out. I don't know, let's just fuck it. But then, of course, it was going down as I actually expected. So I didn't even listen to myself. Now I feel like, man, I'm going to listen very good to myself. I'm listening closely to myself. I'm taking my profits right here. And then there's always the counter argument like, but yeah, but you know, what if it goes up this time? However, we see a preview of which quality projects move when the market turns around, right? Think of projects like Seedify, Forged, Bytes, Immutable X, Solana, and many more. I'm not selling my Launchpad tokens though, so I will never have the fear to miss out. But nothing is up only forever, so I do prepare to have capital for when we see a good correction, which will 100% happen. And what do I mean by that will 100% happen? The market won't do this. It won't do that. It will always do something like this, right? And maybe it does this. Could also happen, but then I can always buy that retest, right? Like there is no, but I'd rather buy into the red here than into the green here at the same level, right? That's very simple. That's basic, like please apply it for yourself. It's not financial advice. Don't sue me, but don't do that. So I'm not selling my Launchpad tokens for two reasons. Even if it goes up to $10 right there, I'll make a shit ton of money. But I'm not selling it because I need them for new launches. Like, we can look at the crypto gaming market right now, or altcoin market, and we can pick our low caps. But if they are still low cap right now, it either means that one, they are doing something not well, otherwise they will be going up a lot, or they have a lot of inflation, or they are already going up, right? So I'm not doing that at this moment. I rather do that when there's fear in the market again. Plus, it's locked, it's staked, I can sell. Makes it very easy for me to have my FOMO in check. But also, I rather buy new projects, right? New projects. I have, for example, I will never miss out on the altcoin market because I am in Seedify. Look at Hypercycle. I bought it right here in the pre-sale. Look what it did. It's sitting at a 10x. It came from more. It came from 8 or so. It's sitting at an 11x. And I'm getting, I invested quite some money in this one. And I'm still getting invested. And it's holding up very well. So I'm making a good income with this. Right? Chain GPT as well. I was in the pre-sale. Did very well with that one. I was in the Games for a Living pre-sale, for example. I'm in a lot of pre-sales. I'm in the Sophiaverse pre-sale as well. I'm still making money by these launchpads. And that's what one of my next videos is going to be about. More about specific, about launchpads, which launchpads, why launchpads, and why you really should consider not buying too much off the open market, but just go with newer coins. Because the coins that you pick are nice, but the timing is more important. And with launchpads, you automatically buy the bottom. Try to do that somewhere else in crypto. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. It's taken long enough. But if you want more of this information, the early calls, like real inside info, following some influencer wallets, having personal consulting with me, looking at my portfolios, there is a Patreon link down below where I put a lot of time and effort in. And I think that if you look there, then you're really prepared for when things are starting to turn around. So guys, thanks for watching. Sorry for the long videos, but I really need to preach this because it's important, man. It's about our money, so let's put a little time in there. Please like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.